bit late in the morning, 8:50, and I have some things to do. I haven't finished cleaning, but the mop's just waiting there for me, and Wednesday is coming to a close and I'm headed to a meeting, and you will find out how that goes in a few weeks. Good morning. So this is my outfit of the day. This is a plaid skirt that I got from Value Village, and this top, I think it is from Susie Share. This might have been a early to 2020, 2021 or something. And in terms of my makeup, I'm keeping it really light. And that is my look for the day. So I just finished my workout and I showered, and I'm thinking that what I need to do to avoid being late for work is I'm going to start getting ready for my day immediately after my workout. And that way I can make sure that I'm not rushing my makeup and I'm just not in a rush in general. And that way I can just relax and sit at my desk and focus on my language learning or whatever I'm about to do before I leave for the day. So this is a new thing. I've done it a few times and I thought it worked out really well. So I'm going to give it another try and be a little bit more consistent with it and see how it goes. So I just wanted to share something that I have really been enjoying over the past few weeks, and that is Jordan Peterson's, he just launched something on YouTube. I think it's called Maps of Meaning. And if you haven't heard about Jordan Peterson, then, I think you really need to do some research and look him up on YouTube, because he gives a lot of insight into human behavior and the psyche. And to be very honest, I believe that you should always be learning and growing, but these videos in particular, I've been able to work through so much in terms of some of my professional development and my personal goals, and getting myself out of a funk in terms of, whether it's a writer's block or relational or interpersonal, or even, just my negative thinking sometimes that I can fall into. And honestly, it has been so helpful for me. And it's, even given me the ability to have a little bit of a
a different mindset in terms of how I approach this stage of life, because a lot has changed drastically in a very short period of time, and I'm not left picking up the pieces, but more so I've had to transform inside and out very quickly in order to adapt to all of these changes. The good thing, on the bright side, is that I'm doing a lot of things that I haven't been able to do before, like, drive 15-20 minutes for ballet or my Latin ballroom. The gym is right there. It has everything that I need, the sauna, yoga, everything is in one place. And in terms of my writing, my books are almost done. Yes, I've passed every single deadline, but 2025, I'm completely focused on everything that I need to do. And I'm waking up earlier and earlier every day, sometimes 3 a.m. But in general, I'm up around maybe 5:30 doing a workout. But overall, I've been very consistent over these past 2 months. And I really started to pick up the speed a little bit for the month of November. So I have about 12 days left of November, and I'm progressing quite a bit in terms of my splits goals and, planning for the next year, continuing education, some graduate studies on the horizon, and So thanks for watching, and click the subscribe button below because there is a lot to come. And every single weekend I have something really crazy going on, and I've decided to start sharing a little bit more about my life. And who knows, we might have a great little, well, not really little, but a really big announcement. And I'm very excited to share when this happens. And I think that, some really, really crazy things are about to happen in terms of my involvement in the arts. And I'm really just coming back to who I really am, and I'm not hiding it anymore. So very excited about that. I'm a very big arts supporter and participant, and there are some things on the horizon within the arts that I'm very excited to share. But take a look behind me, and that's all workout stuff. So half of my apartment, in terms of my living room, is workout equipment. Yeah, there's some more stuff over there, but that's just my lifestyle. And I like being able to move my body, and I don't like being in pain. So that means exercising in the morning. And yeah, so that's it for now, and we'll see you soon. So I'm just out on a little break, and my outfit of the day is a Tommy Hilfiger black and white dress, and I'm wearing stockings and my favorite country shoes. So nothing super fancy, and I have a lot going on this weekend, so very excited for that. I might be going to a classical music event, so that'll be nice. And it's by a new composer, and a very new and small group, so that should be very exciting to see. So I'm just in the LCBO, and this is
what I like to do some days after work and checking out some of the new things and new wines to do some aging and journaling. I'm overdue. I have about 2 that I'm yet to pick, and then I have another 2 for the new year. So this is my look for the evening. It is a black jumpsuit from Le Chateau, and my hair, I just straightened it and put in some hair extensions. And my makeup, I would say that it's pretty standard. I just put some sparkles on my eyes, and I'm wearing a darker lip than I would usually wear. So I am getting ready to head out and head to the opera. So this is a new work. It's called The Lionheart, and it's a mix of opera and orchestra. And I was sent this information by someone from the opera community, so I'm very excited to attend this event. And especially being new to Ottawa, I don't quite know all the great things to do, but I'm very excited to go to this. So I'm just going to switch my hand. Maybe I can get a better look of this outfit. There we go. So very mature look. I look like my age. And it's supposed to be freezing rain outside, and I don't really see it raining, so it's raining a tiny bit. So hopefully it doesn't really start until when I'm in bed, because I think I'm going to walk outside. So I've decided that, if I choose to drive, I'll have a really hard time looking for parking. And I think I'd rather just walk. And it's about maybe a 20-minute walk home. So it's not horrible. That's the amount of time that takes me to get to work. So that is my evening. And I don't always do my hair. And I have been a little bit more consistent than usual in terms of doing my hair and my makeup. I'm usually putting it up in a bun and running out the door, but I've decided to try and be a little bit more consistent with that in my look. So that's really important for me. So that is what I'm up to for this evening, and I think it makes up for my birthday weekend, where I had to bring my car to the mechanic and it was taking super long, longer than I had anticipated. So I left my car at the mechanic, and then I took an Uber to the opera. And then I had to Uber back to pick up my car before a certain time. So I missed half of the opera so that I can go and pick up this car, because the place was closing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get my car until later on in the week. So that birthday weekend, the last vlog, it looked like it was tons of fun, but it was actually a complete nightmare. So changing it up a little bit this weekend, and this will be a great do-over. And very excited about this, especially seeing that it's also in a smaller venue, so I'll be able to take some videos as well. And I'm very excited to meet some new people and be involved in the arts community. That's really important for me. And you know what? It's kind of, I have some nostalgia. And I know I won't join an orchestra or a band, but in the back of my brain, for some reason, I feel like I could do it if I wanted to. If I really wanted to go back to music, I could.
But you know what? I won't, because ballet takes up so much time and money right now. At some point, I've decided that I need to start teaching again, and not just workshops or as a guest teacher or a substitute teacher, but this time it'll be a standard class that I'll have at some point. But I've decided that I'm not allowed to go and try and be a part of an orchestra, because that's just insane. I can't manage any other rehearsals or anything. And I don't have a clarinet anymore. I think my mom has one in the house, but I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there, and I won't bring it to Ottawa. I'm not going to bring that clarinet to Ottawa. And in terms of a saxophone, I've always had a rental for that, so I won't be renting a saxophone. You know what? I won't be renting any musical instruments for personal use. So it's just going to be dance and some opera singing. So that is a new thing. I'm obsessed with opera now. And one of my favorites is the magic flute. And I still need to become more versed in the repertoire of opera. But I know that a lot of the operas do they do cross reference into the ballet world and theater. So it's already in my wheelhouse. And, you know, I love the idea of going back to singing. And, you know, as a child, I hated it. Like, it was not something that I wanted to do, but my mom was a singer, one of the lead singers at church, and they were kind of pushing me to do that kind of thing, but I was not into it. I actually wanted to do drums or something crazy. So yeah, I was never a singer, but took lessons obviously because of my arts programs that I was in, and some other things I ended up getting involved with later on throughout the years. But in terms of serious training in vocals, I've never done that. So I'm gonna give it a try. And I think I'll be really great at it because I have a lot of energy, I think. And it's another great way to be expressive and using an outlet. And the other great thing about this is that there are some moments where there's a bit of screaming, and I think I could use some screaming. So, yeah. So I'm looking forward to this. So, hang tight and we'll see how the rest of the evening goes.
Would be pleased. Hello, I'm Kyle Derek MacDonald, the writer and director of the in-concert performances of our adventure-filled new opera, The Lionheart, composed by Ottawa native Maestro Corey Arnold. Yes. And conducted by Maestro John Krauss, by whose guidance we were encouraged to do all of this. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on this beautiful... Good evening, everyone. I won't take too much time because I want to get right into it. Just wanted to let you know, tonight's show is actually the first of 3 operas that we've been working on. The second one is done. We're hoping to get that produced soon. And we're working on a third one. And the common thing with all of these is we're looking at operas past and what inspires us. We love Puccini, Verdi, even Monteverdi. I know it's silly, and we're trying to combine it with modern sounds, especially the big orchestral scores of film like John Williams, Hans Zimmer, Howard Shore. So this is the first project in that line of thinking. It's also a brand new orchestration with this giant group of talented players.
I'm on my way to work, and this is the first, I guess, frosting of the Christmas season. This is Servicio. So I made it home, and I'm about to sit down with some things that I need to do to get myself ready for the new year. This is a better look at my outfit of the day. Super cute. And I feel like a real corporate girly, as they would say. So anyways, I am about to have some dinner. I'm going to make some of my tofu peanut sauce stir fry. And that will be my dinner, and I'll get settled in for the night. so that I can be all ready and set, organized, type A personality coming back out, and I'm hoping for a very healthy Christmas season with no hospital visits and everyone's okay. And that is my only wish for this Christmas season. I don't need anything. I don't need anything else. I just want a relaxing. I mean, it won't be relaxing, but I just want a healthy Christmas holiday season. And January will come with lots of new things that I will be sharing much later about, but most of it has to do with my ballet stuff and work things. So I won't share about that right now, but things are going really well. I'm able to sit in my splits for the same amount of time every time that I'm doing my stretching exercises, and I'm finding that I'm not reversing my progress. So even though I took 4 days off of some exercising, I didn't reverse back in terms of my flexibility level. So that is a very good sign, and things are moving along quite nicely. And even with my foot stretcher, I used to have a lot of tenderness or like a pinching in the back of my ankles with those stretches, but now I'm able to move further into those stretches, and my ankles are a little bit more pliable, and that's what we're looking for. And I'm working on my strength between my toes and my metatarsals, and I'm wondering if this foot massager that I got for my birthday has been helping. So I think that might be one of the tricks. So stay tuned for some more exciting developments in ballet and the fitness things that I'm working on. And I will be doing some more filming this weekend in terms of ballerina baking and some other stuff that I'm working on. I just finished, completely included the catechisms and the creeds, and I added those into a special book that I have been working on for almost a decade and a half. So that is finally done. So that'll be out, and then I have my memoir that I'll be working on, but the first few drafts, I'm really only going to give that to friends and family before I publish it next year. So that is done, and then I've did a recreation of some of my other works. So I'm seemingly more passionate again, and I think I have a lot to owe to my therapist for helping me to move into positive thinking and self-compassion and some other stuff that I needed to work on in order for me to remove that writer's block. So that's something that I highly recommend, especially for writers, and not just that, but you know, I think everyone should have an opportunity to have access to counseling, and honestly, I don't think that you need to be in any sort of dire situation to be able to get that kind of access. So I feel like therapy and counseling should be accessible more so than ever. And I know it can be expensive, but I've learned so much, and I have so many new techniques and takeaways and worksheets that I can be working on if I'm feeling in a little bit of a slump. So that's a little bit of a serious talk, but I'm going to get to my dinner and start working away. Bag of stir-fry vegetables that I bought frozen, and I'm making some tofu in the oven. The great thing about tofu is you don't need to cook it for a certain amount of hours because it's plant-based, so you can't get sick for undercooked tofu. But other than that, I like crispy tofu or somewhat crispy.